Today I'm going to talk about green, and not just green in general, but green in terms of your brand and your brand colour palette. One of the things that I'm very, very keen on is that we use our brand colours so that they are meaningful to who our brand is and what our brand does. And therefore what we're doing with our brand colour palette is we're relating it to the psychological meaning of colours, we're relating it to the symbolism of these colours, and we're relating it to associations too. I really believe that your brand has a job to do in the world, and when it comes to how you represent that brand using colours and imagery and your voice and personality, that it all needs to come together. So I'm Lynn Stainthorpe. I'm a brand strategist. I spent much of my working life working with colour, and I really love working with colour. And what my aim is to help socially conscious, eco-conscious, purposeful business owners to build a strong brand that can make an impact and create change for the better. So how does this work with green? Let's take a few moments. So first of all, if you look at a colour wheel, here's the colour wheel, what you notice is that green sits in the middle of the warmer colours and the cooler colours, so it's very well balanced. So it's the colour of balance. The other thing about green is it's not a primary colour. We might think it is, but actually it's not a primary colour. Green is a secondary colour, so it's created by mixing together blue and yellow. And this is why we get such a wide range of green hues, tone shades. So we get yellow tone greens, which can feel very vibrant and zesty, and we get blue tone greens, which can appear to be more calming and restful because they're taking on some of the characteristics of blue. So let's have a think about this. So green helps you feel relaxed and calm. Green psychologically is the colour of balance and harmony. And what else do we know about green? Well, green is the colour of nature. It's all around us. So leaves, trees, green hedges, green's all around us. It's the colour of nature. And this is what it's come to be associated with. So from a positive point of view, it's natural, it's restful, it's harmonious, it's easy on the eye. Great stuff. Every colour has upsides and every colour can have downsides. So if we think about the opposite impact of green, what we have with green is, so green's the colour of nature, balance, harmony. Green is also the colour of jealousy. So Shakespeare referred to this, the green-eyed monster, was it in Othello? And when it's also a colour of poison, because and putrefaction, because if things go off, they tend to go mouldy, they go green. So what we have is we have upside, uplift, upside is the colour of nature, downside is the colour of poison and putrefaction. What else is there about green? Well, green's the colour of the heart chakra, and it's also the colour of money, the colour of the dollar bill. It's a universal colour for money. And where we find this comes together is in astrology, where green is the colour of Venus. And Venus, of course, rules love, heart chakra, food, abundance in nature, and money, dollar bill. And how do you choose the colour palette for your brand? How would you know if green, whether it's yellow toned or blue toned, is a good colour choice in your brand? And my answer is it always comes back to who your brand is, what it's trying to do. So what is the purpose of your brand? What are the values of your brand? What does it believe in? How does it act? What's the personality of the brand? What sort of imagery do you want to use? What sort of voice? What's your tone of voice? What type of voice do you speak in? And who are you providing solutions for? Who is your audience? And what's the context in which your brand operates? Who's your competition? What's going on in the market? What are you trying to achieve? What's the vision for this brand alongside the purpose, the values, and the personality? And it's only when we bring all these things together that we can make sound choices about colours that will represent this brand from a genuine point of view. And also that we can bring in the other colours that will support this brand alongside. A few more things about green. If you think about green in terms of seasons, green is probably most associated with spring, and that will be with the yellow toned hues. So green's really good if we're wanting to talk about fresh growth, new life, renewal, reinvigoration, revitalizing. It's a great colour for supporting these sorts of messages. I think that's the top line on green and how it could be useful and relevant for your brand, depending on your brand positioning, depending on your audience, depending on who your brand is and what it stands for, and what message you want to get out into the world. And I think this is really important to make your colour choice relevant and meaningful, and to guard against choosing colours for your brand simply because you like them. I mean, you can end up choosing colours simply because you like them, but do it with care and consideration and knowing how colours work and potentially how they can work with your audience.